Yo, 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 what up? It's your boy Baki. I just saw the new Power Rangers Once and Always. Let's talk about it. All right, man. This is going to be. You know what? I need to get my phone. Let's get into it. Let's talk about Power Rangers Once and Always. We're going to do it like me and Dougie do. So we're going to do the good, the bad, and then the ugly. First off, I thought that it looked really good, shockingly. Not necessarily their costumes, but just like the overall look of the episode or special, short, whatever you want to call it. I thought that was pretty decent. They did a very good job of modernizing a couple things that, were pretty archaic or old, if you will, in the older series, obviously. A lot of the music I enjoyed. I enjoyed a lot of the callbacks. Min was probably my favorite character in the whole entire thing. She had a lot of moments, I should say, that, made me really appreciate her character. A couple good fight scenes. That's about it. Oh, I liked Rita's voice. Having Alpha back is with Invader Zim, having Alpha 9 back or whatever Alpha it is. That was cool. And that's really about it, bro. I actually didn't really I want to say I enjoyed it for what it was, because I can't be like, well, it should be this or that or this or that, you know what I'm saying? But it's just that, man, I'm telling you, after watching Zoolander and seeing how crazy in depth that show is, we come over here and it's just like kiddie pool shallow. In fact, there was somebody on Twitch who was marathoning all of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers episodes before Once and Always. And when I got to the Green Candle arc, right, I was like, oh man, I remember this when I was a kid and it was like so epic, right? So let's watch it again. And then you watch it again and half of the episode doesn't even make sense. Like there's a part in the episode, right? And we're going off tangent, but it kind of makes sense. It'll all come back. There's a part in the episode where in the Japanese version, the Green Ranger's like been frozen in a cave, essentially, that he like locked himself into to be awoken whenever the other Rangers come back, because the Green Ranger actually hates the Red Ranger, who is actually his brother. And the Red Ranger doesn't know any of this because he was a baby when it happened, and the Green Ranger was like 8 or 9, so he remembers everything. So that in the Japanese version, they're at this cave fighting, right? In the American version, they're also at this cave fighting, and it makes no sense why they're just in the middle of nowhere. They show Goldar show up, and he's like, whoa, and he's like destroying things, and they're like, we gotta go stop him. And I'm like, bro, he's in the middle of nowhere. Like, why are they going to a mountain in the middle of nowhere to fight Goldar? Just a lot of things like that don't make sense in the original version, because it's just taking footage of the Japanese version and then slapping it together with American footage. So for this, obviously this is all just American footage, because in the Japanese version, Bandora, who is Rita, is sent off into space at the end of the show, and she's no longer a witch. She lost her witch powers, kind of like how she does in the American version, but not with no Zordon or nothing like that. She lost her powers because she actually was a witch of Satan, and by her shedding tears for her son and everything else that happened, she kind of like lost her powers, her evilness, if you will, or her evil powers. Her powers are always rooted in evil, so that's kind of how they describe it. So in this version, obviously, you're looking at a true off just American version of Power Rangers for once, right? It's not taking footage from here and copying it there and doing it. It's just literally just what it is. So in that regard, I can give it a little bit more credit, because they didn't have to like jump around things. Oh, we can't show this scene because there's Japanese people in the background. We can't show this scene. We can't, they had to do so much culling of everything. That's why the story in Power Rangers Mighty Morphin is terrible. It's awful. You know what I'm saying? It's literally Bulk and Skull and them doing some kind of martial arts thing or gymnastics thing or dance thing for 9 to 10 minutes. Commercial, cut to them morphing. They fight putties. After they fight the putties, they transform into Rangers, usually either before or during the putty fight. And then after that, Rita goes, make my monster grow. And then the monster grows and then they kill the monster. The Japanese version is not like that at all. Some episodes, they don't even get in the Zords. Some episodes, they're like barely in the Ranger suits. Some episodes are all about just the lore and exploration of these characters. It's almost never that in the American version. So in this version, I appreciated the fact that we got more lore and more depth than we normally did as kids with the Mighty Morphin show. My major problem with it, though, is it all felt so shallow, and it still felt like, okay, we gotta do a callback to history, but remember, our history was kind of culled and was weird, so like the callbacks we do are whatever, I still enjoyed a lot of aspects of it, but overall it's just so weak to me, man, especially knowing what like an actual Ranger show is, right? You know what I'm saying? Like Go Kiger, Zyuranger, Gosei Sentai, like those are actual Ranger shows where all the characters are given moments and depth and range that doesn't necessarily rely on just like a 2-minute, 3-minute conversation. Something I really, really did not like about this version was the fact that they had Green Ranger, Tommy's there and Kimberly's there and Jason's there, but they're not really there. It's just voices, which is ironic because that's all it is in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Like every time you see them in the suits, it was actually Japanese people. You know what I'm saying? It was never those people, unless it was an American shot scene, which did happen a lot in the original version. But besides that, it's always dubbed over. So like the irony is kind of there, but I hated it though. I hated that aspect of it because it also didn't make sense. A lot of things in this didn't make sense to me. And I think that's like my biggest gripe about it all is like they're capturing Rangers from all over the world. But like, why is everybody still being Rangers? Like I understand them having the powers, but like, why are they all transforming? Because Rita came back and sent Minotaur in them? Like they do it off screen. At one point, they only have Jason, Tommy, and Kimberly, and then next thing you know, they show this whole row of Rangers, and it's like they've captured the White Ranger from Dino Thunder. They've captured 3 Rangers from Power Rangers Turbo. They've gotten Rangers from Power Rangers in Space or Lost Galaxy, and like, bro, like I didn't really get that aspect of it, and I actually thought that was kind of corny and didn't really work for me. People are gonna be like, well, it's actually in depth because they had kill in it for the first time ever. Like, that's how you know it's lame. If it took 30 fucking years for a Power Rangers series to actually admit the word kill, that's pretty sad. And it actually sucks and kind of takes away from like the depth that Power Rangers could have had. And it sucks that we've never really gotten an in-depth Power Rangers in America. Whereas in Japan, they've explored everything. They've explored old people being Power Rangers, young people being Power Rangers, fucking people who are 170 million years old being Power Rangers, teenagers being Power Rangers. It's like every time we get it, they're like teens, somewhat adulty, and it's just always kind of the samey. I'm trying to think of like something else before we get to like the ugly, bro. Yeah, I just couldn't really take it as much as like face value as I'm sure everyone else does. Because I'm sure a lot of people who've seen Power Rangers have not seen Zyuranger in its entirety. Majority, I would say, haven't. They know the fact that it's taken and it's amalgamation of, Japanese footage and American footage, but most people haven't seen them because I feel like if they had, they'd be Super Sentai fans more than they'd be Power Ranger fans. That's just how I feel personally. Like, if you're a Power Ranger fan and you have seen a lot of Super Sentai and you like that shit, hey, you do you, bro. Live your life. But like, at the moment I found Super Sentai, I like never looked back at Power Rangers. And like, just watching this kind of just solidified me as a Super Sentai fan more than a Power Ranger fan, because it just There's just nothing to really be had here besides, you know, a nostalgia trip. That's all it really is one gigantic nostalgia trip. And nostalgia trips do not work on me. They just don't. You know what I'm saying? It just, you can't pull something from my childhood and I play it as an adult or watch it as an adult and be like, yo, this is still amazing. Like, if it has problems and I notice the problem, then I don't vibe with it no more. It's just how I've grown as a person, bro. I don't fall for the nostalgia trips that it seems that America, or like, yeah, just America in general has been doing lately. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily for me, you know, this new show, or not show, the new special, I should say. You know what I'm saying? It did have some cool moments, like Zach, you know, doing some hip hop keto and all that shit. But see, all of that sucks because he never did hip hop keto when he was in the fucking Ranger fit. Because all of the Ranger fucking material is from the Japanese fucking version. They didn't have hip hop keto. So it's like, these are the things that really rub me wrong. Even when he was a Ranger in this, he never did hip hop keto. He did it for 2 seconds. And that was it. You know, it's just like, we got to move on. We got to move on. We got to move on. Instead of letting things linger and actually give it a moment. Oh, I did really like the new headquarters, though. The new Cranston headquarters. I thought that was cool as hell because, you know, the original one is just like Christmas lights and some weird rings. That's like it. It's nothing else. You know, it's a terrible set that we just accepted as kids, you know, because we were kids and we didn't know anything. There's nothing better to know, you know? And I feel like that's how this is. Like, I feel like a lot of people are gonna be like, yo, this was actually really, really good. But in reality, it was kind of basic, bro. And it even ended basic on a sense. I'm not gonna get like crazy into spoilers, but like, they have this big fight on the moon that takes like 3 minutes. Not even 3 minutes, like 2 minutes. It's like 2 minutes of action, bro. And the CGI Zords and everything just kind of rubbed me wrong, man. I enjoy practical effects and seeing like miniatures and, you know what I mean? That's like actual work and effort. Like a guy sitting on the computer making the CG, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure it's difficult. I'm sure it's challenging, but the blood, sweat, and tears that these guys made when they were wearing these big ass suits and walking around smashing up miniatures and stuff, just to me, just screams out there's just more effort and love into it. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I think that's the biggest gripe I have is like a lot of the CG stuff that happens later on at the end of the show kind of didn't really work for me. Like the whole Zord merging didn't really work for me. It all just felt artificial. That's the best way I can describe it, is artificial, you know. Let's see if let me check my notes here. I said it starts off decent, but when Rita starts explaining everything, it takes away from the story, which is true because why is Rita explaining anything to the Rangers? The Rangers kicked her ass. So why would she be telling them every fucking aspect of the story? I thought that was pretty stupid. Billy should have did the exposition, if anything, because Billy's smart enough to figure out what's going on once he got back to the lab. He should have been like, I got back to the lab, I figured out da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But Rita's like explaining everything. I thought that was pretty fucking stupid. I thought it was stupid how Rita jumped in Alpha's body as well. Terrible. I thought that was so dumb. Like, it doesn't even make sense. And you just got to kind of accept it. That was my biggest problem, is like so many things just don't make sense. You're just like, you got to take it. You know what I mean? I also said, I feel like Tommy, Jason, and Kimberly being forced in with their voices from early footage is also pretty whack. Which I still feel the same way. Like, if they didn't want to be a part of it, then grab different Rangers. Like, they didn't all have to be Mighty Morphin. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was kind of stupid too, because again, you're putting yourself in a situation where you're like, well, we can never have these motherfuckers interact. We got to get rid of Tommy, Jason, and Kimberly like that, and just have the blue and black Ranger pretty much on a mission. Oh, and then here comes a new Pink Ranger and a new Red Ranger from a totally different series, except you know Rocky was in whatever. But you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit to me was kind of weird. I was like, why didn't you just have Rocky there? Jason gave up his power or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, have it like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't even need to have them in there. Just have them as a line, and then that way you could have had all the Rangers together actually fighting more often than not. You know what I'm saying? That was pretty whack. What else did I say? I said I like Trini's daughter and understand that it's her actual daughter in real life, which is awesome. If that's true. Somebody told me that was true. I don't know if it's true, and I didn't look into that. I said, but I'm not a fan of using real life death as the only time Power Rangers face loss. That right there is fucking corny. And I agree. Like, you know, there's a couple lines that Zach says that made me like literally be like, bro, what are you talking about? For example, at one point, Zach says, this is Power Rangers business, not teenage girl that has homework due business. Bro, you were a Power Ranger in high school. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Or he'll be like, Power Rangers isn't about quips and, you know, martial arts or whatever. It's hard. And I'm like, bro, again, what are you talking about? Every episode ends with you guys laughing about something, about whatever scenario or scene with quips. Literally, that is literally what Power Rangers is about. So it's just funny that they're like telling you what it's deeper than that, but it never really has been. You know, at least on the American side. Remember, on the American side. Japanese side has so much depth, it's crazy. You know, the Green Ranger in the Japanese version fears his life essentially because he died, and a spirit brought him back to life. But every time he leaves his little purgatory, the green candle burns. And once the green candle fully burns, he's dead forever. And he knows this. You know, so he has like nightmares about him dying, where there's a Rorschach or whatever Rorschach, I think they call it, where they carry the dead to, you know, the land of the dead, and he's like in it, you know what I'm saying? And that stuff is like terrifying him. He wakes up in sweat, you can see it. That kind of stuff, like, to me, gives you the depth that as an adult is great to watch, you know what I'm saying? But like, you know, we never got any of that as a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, death is never a thing. Challenge is never really a thing. After the Green Ranger, they don't really get challenged again for quite a while in the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger series. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that fucking sucks, you know? Because like I said, there's just so much depth to be had if they would have just went with the original Green Candle arc and just said Tommy was, you know, but everybody fell in love with Tommy and then all this shit. And then next thing you know, it's just like he's in every series, which also didn't make sense. Like, why is Tommy in the Green Ranger outfit? He was the Black Ranger. He was a White Ranger. He was a Red Ranger. Like, why give him green? You just wanted to do that nostalgia thing, bro. That's like my biggest gripe, is it all just feels like a nostalgia pull on your heart, when reality is like, it's not even that good, you know? Let's see what else I said in my notes, because I'm pretty much out of ideas here. I said Alpha's back as Alpha 9 because Billy tried to contact Zordon after the Z-Wave cured Rita of evil. But in him looking for that energy, he actually pulled Rita's evil energy, and she used Billy contacting Zordon to jump into Alpha 8's body. At least they were trying to do something. You know what I'm saying? At least they're trying, bro. I guess that's the best I can do. And I guess that's what I'm saying when I'm saying Power Rangers doesn't have depth. You know what I mean? It's just nothing to be had there, bro. I said Alpha being taken over is pretty goofy, just like when the Green Ranger sticks a CD in the old Alpha. And that's exactly what happened in the old Green with Evil, or whatever the hell the name of the episode is. He sticks a CD in Alpha, and and just, you know, dysfunctions. And then they come and pull the CD out, and she's like 80% fine. That part was stupid as hell. And then I finished it off with anticlimactic ending, which I felt like that was just like, the ending didn't feel good. You know, it'd have been nice to see a lot of Rangers in suits and shit, but they probably couldn't even afford that. It just feels like you start off with a drone shot and all these things. It's just, I don't know. Oh, we're going to get a quick spoiler. So get out of here if you ain't seen it. Go watch it. When Trini dies, right, she's hit with the red energy or whatever. This chick explodes into like nothingness, right? Bro, the same beam Rita throws and hits Min with, right? And she lives. She doesn't explode, nothing. And they never really explain it. They're just saying like, oh, well, the morphine grid has infinite possibilities. Bro, like, what are we doing? Like, make it make sense, man. she could have did a different move. Why'd she do the exact same move that killed Trini and made her blow up in the smoke, and then it hits her and she's just on the ground? And they're like, oh no, she's dead. But she wasn't, obviously. That shit was all whack. I didn't enjoy none of that. It's just corny. It felt like a corny Disney movie. You know what I'm saying? If you like that stuff, you like that stuff. You enjoy it, you enjoy it. I didn't go into it planning on hating it. I just saw that trailer and thought it was gonna be trash. And to my truth, it was garbage. I didn't really like it. I give it a 5 out of 10, 4 out of 10. Yeah, I give it a 4 out of 10. You know, for effort and bringing some people back. But everything else, it just wasn't it, man. I'm telling you now, you guys should watch Zyuranger. If you haven't seen it, it's on Tubi for free. They have a bunch of Super Sentai there. Check that out, man. It's 50 episodes. It doesn't drag on for 7 seasons and you got to move this person because this actor wasn't here. And they solved all that shit way earlier in the Super Sentai franchise. So if I were you, I'd say if you haven't seen Zyuranger, check that out, man, after you're done watching this. And just go see how much depth is actually given to these Rangers in a kid show, you know, and see that we were pretty much robbed, which is just the case, you know. I know people were probably expecting me to have, like, you know, some kind of positivity about this. Like I said, I named the good stuff that I enjoyed, but overall, I was just, like, shaking my head most of the time, being like, this is just, like, this is terrible. You know, it just didn't work for me, like, at all. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoy it, though, if you like that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Your boy's going to be doing a lot more reviews and stuff. Like I said, my TV and my other monitor broke, so I can't even, like, play games or nothing else right now, really. Unless I'm playing on this crappy monitor I'm looking at, which won't work because it's not even the right resolution. So I'm going to be putting out a lot more videos, so be on the lookout for them. This should be out in a couple hours. I'm going to put this out pretty quick. If you haven't done so, leave your boy a like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I know. I don't like Power Rangers. Oh, my God. He's the worst. But it's just how I feel, man. After, like I said, I didn't find Zyuranger until 2019. And I used to fuck with, like, Dino Thunder, Ninja Storm, all that shit. Now it's like Abba Ranger. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even care about any of those. Excuse me. I don't care about any of those anymore. Because Super Sentai is just that much better. You know? Maybe not the recent ones, but the recent ones I don't really vibe with because it's all CG and shit, and I don't know. It's just kind of gets weird. But the older ones that, like, were based off when I was a child, it's not even close. The Japanese version is a billion times better. Do you understand me? A billion times better. People die. People are hurt. Kids get fucked up. There's just lots of things that happen that would happen naturally if somebody was really attacking a city. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being like, oh, Angel Grove's under attack. Ay, ay, ay. They go in, they morph, they kill the monster. It's the same fucking thing every single episode in Power Rangers. And never really changes until later series. So, yeah. With that being said, your boy is out of here. Y'all have a great evening, morning, noon, night, whatever it may be for you. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.